This is my office here, so I keep one or two of my pictures that are reminiscent of my career, you know. Here we are, we've got my school team there, Elaborate Village, and then this was Falkirk District, and you'll recognise one or two players here. There's Big Cork, who was a stalwart with Rangers, Big George Young there, and there's Eddie Turnbull. Sadly Eddie died recently, and Davy Lapsley there. So we're a great school team, and big following in these days. I'm going back, what, what does it say there?
1936 to
1936, that's right. And I remember in that game we won the Scottish Schools Cup, and there were 5,000 people watching us at East Stirling's ground. And this is when I really entered senior football. With the advent of war, when war started, I was playing as a 16-year-old boy from a Falkirk High School team, and one Saturday, with the war having started, Queen's Park were due to play Celtic, and the two goalkeepers that Queen's Park had, one was an Egyptian and he was called away to Egypt, and the other one was a lieutenant in the Territorials, so they had nobody to fill the vacancy. So I played my first game for Queen's Park against Celtic. It was their great Empire Exhibition winning team in 1938, and on that day I lost 4 goals, but we scored 4 goals. And I always remember the forward line that Celtic had. It was a wonderful forward line. It was Delaney and Buchan, Crum, Divers and Murphy. So my baptism was at Parkhead about 1940. The other pictures here, one or two of Rangers. I've got most of them up in my attic, but they just denote that's the famous season, 1948-49, when we won the 3 trophies.
First treble, yeah.
And that's just another one there, just featuring the players. This here, I must say that during the war years, I played for Scotland in the full as a young player. And the full Scottish international team. We didn't get caps for our games, as they do now. I mean, they can play for a couple of minutes and get a cap. So my first game for Scotland, there's Mark Busby. He was a captain. So that goes back a bit, doesn't it?
Have you any memories of him?
Of Mark Busby?
Yeah.
Yes, Mark Busby. He was our captain, and before I signed for Rangers, he wanted me to sign for Manchester United, and I met him in the old St Enoch's Hotel in Glasgow. But by that time, the war had finished, I was married, I wanted to settle in Scotland, and there was no doubt that where my affinities lay, and that was with Rangers. But these players, that's Delaney of Celtic, that's Jimmy Harley of Liverpool. Now he's an icon of Liverpool, Billy Liddell.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Right? Myself, that was Bob Thine of Darlington, he was a centre half. That was Archie Macaulay of the Arsenal.
Yeah.
Right? Jimmy Stephen of Bradford, who was a left back. Now there's a centre forward, and the day Jock Dodge of Blackpool. Now in the days when you had big centre forward hitting the goalkeepers and rummeling them up, and a terror of defences. Matt Busby was the captain, Andy Black of Hearts, and that's Willie Fagan of Liverpool.
And what's the year roughly in that game?
That would be 41-42.
Yeah.
I was a young player then, that's right.
That's a nice one of you in action. Hold on to that one first.
That's me saving a ball during the Celtic match.
Get that one.
Nice one.
And the caption on that one, he bawled with laughter. You see? I don't know if I was or not, but I think I saved it.
Easter Road, yeah.
These are just pictures of what it was like in my day. You know, the huge crowds. At Hampden, for example, 138,000 watched the cup final there when we played Morton in the final of the Scottish Cup. Huge crowds, and all standing as you see them there. That picture was taken at Tynecastle. I got the ball over the bar, I know that. And just a programme. This was at Easter Road here, you see.
Two Rangers players.
Those were wonderful games, Hibs and Hearts. Hibs had that wonderful forward line that you've heard of, Smith,
Famous five.
Johnson, Riley, Turnbull and Ormond, against our defence. Many people at that time thought that it would be a good idea if Scotland had Rangers defence and Hibs forward line.
But they never done it.
It never came to pass. This here was our annual game, Arsenal and Rangers. Ever since then, and even when I was manager of Scotland, I have a close affinity to the Arsenal, and I keep in touch regularly. But that match there has a special significance because it was the first match that was played under floodlights. Prior to 1951 and this match, various clubs had experimented, but in this game here, I remember it was the annual game, and there'd be about 60,000 people there, and they reckoned there was about 8 or 10,000 locked out because it had taken on such an interest. Sadly, on that day we lost 3-2, but nevertheless, in all the games, it was an annual game, and in all the games I played against Arsenal, we more than held our own. Now these are just pictures of when I was the manager of Scotland. You know, it's
famous 3-2 team, is it?
That was just the under-23s at training. Now this was a very good side. This was, you'll recall all these players: Bobby Murdoch, Tommy Gemmell, Ronnie McKinnon, Tommy Lawrence the goalkeeper, John Gregg, wonderful left back, Eddie McCready, Jimmy Johnston, Billy Bremner, Dennis Law, Alan Gilzine and Bobby Lennox. What would you give to have a team like that today?
Change days, Bobby. Change days.
Change days. And here we are at down at the training centre down in Largs. That's Willie Johnston and Bobby Lennox and myself. That's just a picture of under 23s that were assembled here as well. Now, these pictures here that's Alf Ramsey and I walking out at Hampden at an international which I recall finished 0-0, and I think on that day we should have had 2 penalty kicks. I do recall that people felt the same way. That was Alf Ramsey and I walking off after we famously beat them 3-2 after they won the World Cup. And that's it there again, you see. This was when I met Princess Alice, I think it was. And this one here was the German team manager prior to Scotland playing in Hamburg. These are just general pictures. Up on the top here, when I joined the SFA, first of all we toured the world, and we played 10 matches and won them all. I took a number of young players with me, including Alec Ferguson. Alec Ferguson was in that party. I recall Tommy McLean, who played for Rangers, and others that of note. We played, and that's just meeting Jock Steen casually. And these were just pictures. I got this from the Rangers Trust, which I keep here. And going back to my days after I'd finished playing, when I managed St Johnstone, this was when we won the 2nd Division Championship, and we had a civic reception in Perth. Now, you may recall that before Hampden was refurbished, there was a lot of discussion about whether they should go to Cambuslang and have a completely new stadium. Many of us felt that Hampden was the heritage of our game, and we should refurbish it. So I was on a committee that includes, that was a lady provost,
Susan Baird,
Bob Cramsey, that's right, Billy McNeil, there's Tommy Gemmell there, all these people there, we felt that they should refurbish Hampden, and that's exactly what happened. Those two, I am invited from time to time as an ex-Queen's Parker to go up and, like we do at Ibrox once a year, at Ibrox they have all the old players, and we have a lunch, and we go out at half time and give a wave to the crowd. They don't do it annually at Queen's Park, but from time to time I do get an invitation to go up, and well, I don't, there are not too many of my era there
Yeah,
now.
but you still get fond memories of your days at Queen's Park as well?
Well, it was at Queen's Park that I learned my trade, really. I mean, and that was the reason, at the end of the war in 1946, when I met Mr. Struth, he wanted an experienced goalkeeper, and of course I'd had experience during the war playing for Queen's Park and also playing for Scotland and the Scottish League. And Jerry Dawson, who was the Prince of Goalkeepers, great goalkeeper for Rangers, he was on the verge of retiring. So I thought it was a logical move, one that I've never ever regretted, to try and fill his shoes.
That's good. I'll just do these wee bit.
Right.
Now that's just...
Is that your official share?
Ah, yes, well, that's right. I mean, you hand these down from father to son and what have you. And then this was when I decided that my football days were finished. You know, I wanted to go into business, and my late wife, she had with her friend, they had 3 shops all interconnected in Helensburgh, and I decided that I would go up to Clydebank College and do a course in cookery and management, and I opened my own restaurant, which was down in Helensburgh, and I had it for 4 years when I ran it, and that it still is there yet, but known as the Upper Crust, and that's the picture of it. You know, where I tried to sell the ambience of the place along with good food. That's it. My second love really is fishing. And I've very happy memories of St Johnstone, where I had a bungalow on the Tay, near the Tay, about 100 yards from the Tay. And in those days, you could go out and you could fish for a salmon, and there I caught 2. One of my colleagues at Ibrox, Tory Gillick, he was a good fisher, and Tory came up frequently, and we were allowed to fish in some of the famous pools that they have up there.
And what's the picture at the top?
This one at the top is one when I went to Falkirk. I was only at Falkirk for 6 months, but it didn't suit me at all. It was vastly different from being at Ibrox, and I was at that time I was wondering. I knew that I wanted to do something after the Rangers, you know, and that's when I decided. I got the offer. I went up to St Johnstone after that, but I was only 6 months there. So there you go, that's just a selection of the pictures in here.
And a few greats in that picture as well you'd be familiar with?
This one?
Yeah.
Yes, well, you see, you've got Tory Gillick, you've got Worrell, McCall, George Young, myself, Willie Woodburn, Sammy Cox, you've got Billy Williamson, Johnny Hubbard, I think, is it? Oh no, Willie Thornton, can't think who that is. Jimmy Dunkerson, Jimmy Caskey. Myself.
Sammy Cox.
Ah, Sammy Cox, that's right. Who's that one then? That's Williamson, there's Worrell. I think.
I'll just go in, I'll zoom in, sorry, pardon.
Eh?
Thornton, Jockshaw, Duncanson, Eddie Rutherford.
Ah, that's who it is, Eddie Rutherford, aye, that's right. He was, that's right. Okay.
Brilliant.
That'll